Woods. And do we have some rain out there today? Well, we will for a few minutes anyway. If you're watching this in the morning, expect a little drizzle. I'll tell you all about that in just a moment. On our show today, we're going to have a segment with United. But first, Dan Oweiler is here, and Dan is going to talk about, well, Social Security and taxes, how they relate to each other. You know, there's some changes in the tax laws, and he's going to talk about, well, that threshold of where you could possibly be taxed on your Social Security benefits. Very important. Mayor Carol Moore is here today, mayor of the city of Laguna Woods, and she's got a few things to talk about, including some dates we'll give you for some recycling, you know, that the city does with waste management. And then we're going to bring you a segment with United, and I sat down with Janie Doral and also Kurt Weeman, and we talked about the alterations. Mainly what we talked about is how you can navigate through the website to get information if you're doing an alterations. There's a lot of information there, a lot of PDF files that you can download, give you all that important stuff that you need to know. Now, as far as meetings go today, we have a couple meetings. The Performing Arts Center Ad Hoc Committee meeting will be in the boardroom at 9 o'clock, and then at 9:30, Third has a special open meeting, and what that is some unfinished business that, you know how between February and March and April, you don't always get 30 days in between meetings, and they have to have a certain length of time. So this is going to kind of get them caught up. They have some unfinished business that they're going to go and vote on. So that will be at 9:30 in the Willow Room. That's the second floor here. That is an open meeting. Now, as far as weather goes, well, we did get a pretty decent amount of rain. For us in our area, I think over the last day and a half, we probably got all told about 3/4 of an inch. Certainly less than what was originally thought. We thought we were going to get 1 to 2 inches. And yes, there have been certain areas of Southern California that got that and far beyond. Some got up to about 5 inches of rain. So it was a pretty good rain event. It's still going on. If you're watching us in the morning, there's a little residual drizzle out there. So we could get that all the way to maybe about 10, 11 o'clock. Then we're going to be partly cloudy. Now moving on, let me get out of the way here. You can see we're going to be cool and sunny, and mostly sunny over the next couple days. I think it is in the forecast that maybe Saturday night into Sunday, we could get a little bit of drizzle. And that seems to be more of a marine layer drizzle, but that is that possibility. Then moving forward, Monday and Tuesday and even beyond, we're going to be anywhere from the mid to upper 60s to maybe about 72 for several days, all the way into next week. Right now, there's no rain in the forecast after this event that we've had. Fortunately, for those people up in Montecito and those areas, the rain, while they certainly had some debris flow coming in, they were well prepared and the rain was spread out. It didn't all come down in a deluge like it did, what was that, about 2 months ago. So they made it through a lot better this time around, so that's good. Let's look around the state this weekend, and one thing I want to point out is they got a lot of snow out of this system up in the Sierras. I mean, several feet of snow, which is very good news because that's what we want, and we could be at the point now where we don't have to worry about drought conditions. I think there's enough snowpack up there. But as for today and tomorrow, Tahoe, Mammoth, the Sierras are still going to get some snow. They still might get it into Sunday as well. Some light rain along the central coast and then northward in the Bay Area and the north coast. This system that we had down here really covered the entire state, and more so from Central California on up. So they're still going to get a little light rain today, probably into tomorrow. As they get to Sunday, they're going to start to clear up. San Diego, cloudy today. Palm Springs about 72, and Big Bear about 40 degrees, still have some showers today, going down to 21, and that's for the weekend. They got a tiny little snow out of this system. Not a lot, but they did get some, so that's good. And if you're going up there, if you're a skier, I would certainly wait till to maybe Sunday or Monday, if you can possibly do that. By then, the roads are going to be in great condition, and they'll have that nice new layer of, not much, but they do get some snow. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
El Toro Pharmacy, your health needs and your quality of life is our top priority. We can be trusted with all your prescription needs, delivered free to your doorstep. Call us to have your prescription transferred. We will take care of everything. No hassle to you. We are a full-service pharmacy carrying all your over-the-counter medicines at competitive prices. And we offer complete diabetic care and your immunization requirements too. Under new management, come visit us in Moulton Plaza. El Toro Pharmacy will never be undersold, and we offer the finest after-sale services.
Hi, I'm Sharon. I am so pleased to welcome you to JTV. We're a 24/7 home shopping network focused exclusively on jewelry and gemstones. And because we believe every woman deserves to be lifted up, we love to help her sparkle, keep her informed, and make her smile. Our viewer is passionate about jewelry and gemstones, and we share her passion. Because of that, she keeps coming back, making us one of the top retailers in the United States. We sell extraordinary products at extraordinary prices. Welcome to JTV.
Parkinson's disease is a neurological movement disorder affecting an estimated 1 million Americans, including many under age 40. The American Parkinson Disease Association is the largest grassroots network in the United States, working to help ease the burden and find the cure for those coping with Parkinson's. Visit apdaoptimism.org today to find out how you can help millions live with dignity and optimism. Your action today will help APDA put an end to Parkinson's disease.
It's your retirement. How will you live it? How will you be remembered?
Will you be able to take me on vacation?
Will you be there for my ball games?
Will you teach me your values? You'll be able to play with me.
Oh, help me go to college. How will I remember you?
Have the retirement you dream about. Contact us today.
Welcome back. Well, you know, there's the old saying, what's two things you can't avoid, death and taxes. And taxes is the subject we're talking about today with Dan Owa, the president of Sterling Financial Advisors.
Ken, how are you?
I feel like playing the Beatles song, The Tax Man. You know, the George Harrison song.
Yeah.
What we're really talking about today is the possibility of Social Security benefits being taxed.
Not the possibility.
Well, yes.
Everybody gets frustrated when
yeah.
they come to my seminars and how do we avoid getting taxed on our Social Security, which is unfortunate because it's money that they're just returning to us, which has already been taxed anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it was interesting when President Roosevelt first instituted Social Security, he promised us that this money would never be taxed.
Yes.
Well, what happened? Well, Congress changed.
Yes,
you know,
it did.
Government spending changed.
So in what scenario are Social Security benefits
Well,
taxed?
the problem with the Social Security taxation situation is the basis of the amount of taxable income that's causing your Social Security to be taxed hasn't been indexed for inflation. So when they first started this in 1983, they started taxing half of our Social Security if you made over $25,000 as a single or $32,000 as a couple. Right. So if your taxable income was over that amount, then half of your Social Security was taxed. If it's over $31,000 as a single and over $45,000 as a couple, 85% of that Social Security benefit is added back into your taxable income to be taxed.
Right, okay.
So the problem with that is it has not been indexed over the past 30 years, and it's still 25 and 32,000. Had it been indexed, it's about a little over 61,000 and almost 80,000. Yeah. So that's the problem. So more of people have been falling into this Social Security tax.
Now, with the changes in the tax laws, Has that been re-indexed, or we're still the same?
We're still the same. They haven't re-indexed. The nice thing about the tax law, it does reduce the tax percentage generally on the amount that's being taxed, but it also has eliminated our exemptions and given us a standard deduction.
Right.
So the amount of taxes we pay off might be reduced because the tax rate is lower, but more people are going to be falling into that bracket.
Now, obviously, everything is looked at as far as your taxable income, meaning that people may be totally retired, and they're getting your Social Security, but then they're also getting payouts from the IRA, or not I should say Roth IRA.
Required minimum distributions.
And so that all adds up. That could push you over that mark.
Well,
right?
the thing that
anything that is taxable,
any taxable income is included, and people say, well, how do I know if my Social Security is going to be taxed? Well, you take your adjusted gross income. Okay, and then you have to add back in, unbelievably, if you've got any tax-free municipal bonds. Okay, so the interest on the tax-free municipal bonds isn't taxed, but the interest that you've received is used to determine if your Social Security is taxed.
Oh, wow.
So, so if you've got, you know, $25,000 of tax-free interest coming in, you add that back in the calculation to determine if your Social Security. People are always upset because their tax-free interest is bumping them into a bracket where their Social Security is going to be taxed.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but that they haven't changed that law.
Yeah.
And so you take all your tax-free income, all your adjusted gross income, and half of your Social Security, and if it's over that $32,000 as a single, or I mean as a couple, then half your Social Security is going to be taxed.
Wow. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's like almost in the poverty bracket.
Yeah.
You know, because $25,000 for a single and $32,000 for a couple, that's almost in the poverty level.
Now, what about? It will certainly be probably in my situation one day, where since I'm 12 years older or whatever it is than my wife, I'm getting Social Security. She is not yet. They're still looking at that total from a couple, and therefore my benefits would be taxed.
That's correct.
Okay.
Again,
unless we fall separately,
unless they can start indexing that, which they should. You know, I mean, they should start indexing that amount, because $25,000 in today's dollars is much different than it was in 1983.
Yeah.
So they really do need to start indexing that, but it's a way the government gets around bringing in more revenue and taxing half of your Social Security, which is a little bit ironic because it's tax money that we are donating to our Social Security fund, right?
Yeah.
And then they're just giving that back to us, okay? And now they're taxing it again. So it's a little effect of double taxation from the government, but it is what it is. But more people are going to start falling into these brackets, you know, but fortunately for us, the tax rate on those brackets are probably not going to be as high.
And it sounds like there's really not much to counteract that, because if you're bringing in income, if you're at an age where you're getting distributions, you're getting your pensions, you're getting that.
Sometimes we can do some reallocation, some things. I think we were mentioning offsite as we were getting ready for this. Actually, municipal bond interest is obviously added into that.
Right.
If someone has an annuity, a deferred annuity, and that's just accumulating, they're not getting a 1099 and they're not being taxed on that. So actually those earnings aren't included in determining if your Social Security is taxed. So there are some things that we can do to reallocate if we're on the borderline, to maybe take some money out of cash or muni bonds and put it into an annuity, deferred annuity, that will affect the lowering of the taxable interest or the interest that is included in determining if your Social Security is taxed.
And that would be because you're not taking that annuity.
You're not taking income. If you take income from that, then it's obviously going to be taxed to you. But if you just want a safe place to accumulate money, I got money sitting in the bank. I had a guy in yesterday from Laguna Woods, and he says, I've got a lot of property and everything, and he had a substantial amount of property, and I said, how much do you have in the bank? And he says, well, $500,000, you know, and he says, I'm getting 1/4% on that.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, not only can you do better as far as a yield go, but it won't be included in your taxable income.
Okay, and
So-
that way, maybe years down the road,
When
you
you're
start
in
to
the lower
draw
tax
from,
bracket or something, whatever it might be. A lot of people, you know, come to our seminars and say, we always thought we would be in a lower tax bracket when we retired, but by the time we add our pension and Social Security together, it's almost the same.
Yeah.
You know, so you've got to be careful on how you go about doing the tax planning to make sure, you know, it really does lower your income.
And part of this too is, of course, when you begin to take your Social Security, if you can possibly hold off, you're going to, well, first of all, you're going to get more.
That depends on your cash flow
Yeah.
situation. We have people come in all the time that they want to have the desire to, you know, full retirement age is 66 in 2/3 right now, and if I can wait till age 70, my benefit goes up 8% each year.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice benefit. You know, the maximum benefit right now is right around $2,700 a month.
Yeah.
If you can wait till age 30 or 70, that bumps up to, you know, like $3,400 a month.
Yeah, that's
you know,
a big
so,
increase.
So it's significant if they can wait. And if we take money out of our IRA or whatever it might be, so we can get to that point, it might be a better strategy to do that if we have other assets that we can pull down on in order to get, because an 8% return on our money is very good right now.
Yeah.
And if we can do that, it's worthwhile planning for and being able to come up with a strategy that allows you to pull other assets out of there. And we do a lot of Social Security planning for clients and when to take it and when not to take it. Sometimes I've recommended some clients take it at age 62.
Yeah.
They don't have any funds coming in, or, you know, and if they draw down on their assets, they don't have enough assets. And,
Right,
you know,
right.
sometimes it makes sense to take it at age 62.
Yeah, and there's some people that are not, they've maybe retired early, so it might
Sure.
work for them, because if you keep working there, there's a stiffer penalty.
Well, full retirement,
62 to,
after full retirement, you
Yeah.
can work and it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
from 62 to 66, if you start working, they do an offset dollar for dollar until a certain point.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, the whole premise here is income planning.
Yeah.
You know, as we sit down and we do an analysis of people's income and what they have coming in versus what they need going out, it allows us to probably give them a little. We've done some studies where between the ages of 62 and 66, if you start taking it early,
yes,
it
yeah.
takes about 12 to 13 years to break even, you know, or 66 to age 70. You
Yeah.
know, it takes about 12 to 13 years. So if you're going to live past 78, you're better off waiting. Okay, but you never know. Tell me
Yeah.
when you're going to die, I'll tell you what to do, type
Yeah.
of thing. We just don't know, but we have to make some assumptions when we do those projections and put our reports together for our clients. Is based upon these assumptions, this
Yeah.
is what's going to happen.
So when it gets to the taxation part, or having your benefits taxed, it's whatever taxable income. is
Adjusted gross income.
Adjusted. That's right. Because if you get,
standard
if you're in a
deduction-
municipal bond,
Right,
it's-
right.
Yeah, right.
Is your
yeah.
adjusted gross income, okay? And then you have to add back in all your tax-free municipal bond
Yeah.
interest just to determine whether or not your Social Security is taxed. So,
All right.
it's a way that the government gets you, you know,
Yeah.
coming and going. Like you said, they're choose things that are certain.
Yeah.
Death and taxes.
Right.
You know, so, you know, it's just a planning step that we want to take with our clients and saying these are our options. Most of the time, we don't have the option of whether or not your Social Security is taxed.
Right,
Just because
right.
the threshold is so low.
Yeah.
You know, if you're getting $2,500 a month from Social Security, that's $30,000 a year.
Yeah.
Well, if you're single, that's over the threshold anyway. And if you're married, your spouse is probably going to get Social Security.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to be at $40,000 anyway.
Right.
So, The unfortunate thing is it's really kind of a fact of life that Social Security is going to be taxed unless you just don't have any money.
So let me clarify something. That threshold of $25,000 per individual.
Right.
That's not this money over here, not counting your Social Security. That includes your Social Security.
Half of your Social Security.
Okay, yeah.
So you have to take your adjusted gross income plus half of your Social Security and all your tax-free interest. So, like I said, the threshold is really kind of been monkeyed around with by not being indexed to inflation. As I mentioned, they estimate that it would almost be a little over 61,000 as a single and almost 80,000 as a couple.
Yeah.
And that gives us some leeway. We can plan around that.
You know, I'm looking at, Dan sent me a sheet on this, and the interesting thing is there's a line here that maybe you can clarify it. It says something about equivalent railroad retirement benefits. Why is that in there? Is that, it says publication 915, Social Security and equivalent railroad retirement benefits.
Well,
is that some old
kind
of language that's still in there?
Retirement benefits are treated differently.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, so it's interesting that you don't, I've never had somebody retire from the railroad.
It's funny that language is still in there.
But it's still in there.
Yeah.
You know, so they treated retirement railroads or retirement from railroads a little bit differently.
All right.
How many people are retiring from railroads these days?
I don't know, not many. Well, good to see you. I know you're going to be doing some seminars coming up.
And we've got seminars going on. We're going to be doing some educational taping here.
That's great.
And so probably over the next couple of months, 3 or 4 months, we'll be doing some educational, just maybe using the whiteboard and some stuff like that. So
all right.
We'll be good.
That'll be good.
Done, so.
Very good. Always
right.
Good to see you,
Good
sir.
to see you.
And you can get a hold of Dan and his staff, his family that works with him at sterlingfa.com. That is the website, and the number is 949-859-8900. They're just right up in Mission Viejo.
And if we do a complimentary consultation, if somebody wants to come in, we don't charge for just to kind of get to know you and see whether or not we can even be of help.
Yeah. And I think you probably can, because this is a lot to go through, I'll tell you. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Say hi to everyone for me. We'll be right back. Yeah, look at that. I'm going.
You made it. Years of hard work, investing, planning, and now you're here. The long-awaited reward you spent a lifetime looking forward to. But what now? After years of growing a nest egg, now you may want to manage it. Use it to fund your dreams. Make it last as long as you need it. And leave some for those you love. So what do you do? Wall Street continues to be uncertain, and some conservative options have dropped through the floor. How do you maintain opportunities for growth and reduce risk of loss from market changes? That's where we come in. We are financial professionals. From insurance products to tax reduction strategies and guaranteed retirement income you cannot outlive, provided by the claims-paying ability of insurance companies. You've worked a lifetime to get here. Let us help you enjoy it to the fullest. For a complimentary consultation, simply contact us today.
I'm Dr. Leif Loberg, and I want to welcome you to our brand new facility here in Laguna Woods. We've been serving the community since 2006, and we're super excited to bring you an awesome team of doctors, Dr. Jackson, Dr. Asaturians, Dr. Vian, and myself, here to serve you in our brand new state-of-the-art facility. Call us in the morning and we'll get you in the same day, guaranteed.
I wanted to give my brother a ceremony that would honor his life. Our family had experienced joy and pain, disconnect and frustration with my brother, and yet he was someone that I loved dearly. People are worthy to be honored. That's why I trust O'Connor Mortuary.
I thought my active lifestyle and clean living would keep me from getting cancer. Yeah, I didn't want to get a colonoscopy because I thought it was too much trouble. I never had one. I didn't think I needed one. But I got cancer at 72 years old, colon cancer, and I needed surgery. My doctor at Saddleback Memorial suggested robotic-assisted surgery is minimally invasive and it's much faster recovery, and I was only out 3 weeks, and I actually won a tennis tournament 1 month after my surgery.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Well, I'd like to welcome the mayor of the city of Laguna Woods, Carol Moore, and it's always good to have you on.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Welcome back. And we've got a lot of different topics to talk about today. And the first one, we were just chatting about that the retirement of John Fry of the Orange County Sheriff's Department is now working here at VMS.
Isn't that interesting? John was a wonderful, we were very disappointed but understood it was time for him to make a change. He has served the village for years, and he's very familiar with our unique population. Yeah. And boy, he was very well liked. But now he's working for the security department here at VMS, so that's
good. So in a way, he hasn't left.
No, that's right. He's still serving the community.
Yeah, very nice.
With a lot of knowledge.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. I think that's the most important thing, knowing the uniqueness of this community.
Correct.
The layout of it, what to expect. He's got it all there.
He's got it.
So that's really good.
Right.
Now let's talk about the ever popular Aliso Creek.
Well, before you get there, could we mention women's history?
Oh yes, please. Yes.
I just thought we should say we had a proclamation, and of course the many people throughout the years who've made contributions for women, and so we had a proclamation on that, so that was nice. And now Aliso Creek.
Okay.
And that's kind of a touchy subject because
it always has been, hasn't it?
Oh boy, well it's actually not our area. It's beyond us, but I did want to point out the Army Corps of Engineers, with an overkill project, perhaps $100 million they were going to spend, planning to spend, with lots of earth moving, with a very sensitive habitat, and the cities around us are not supportive of that at all. And so we issued a proclamation. I'm going to list some of the people who have opposed this major earth moving project and want a more delicate touch to it.
Okay.
The city, it is Aliso Creek beyond our city, so we're not speaking in our boundaries. I did want you to know that. City of Laguna Beach, the City of Aliso Viejo, the California Native Plant Society, Friends of Harbors, Beaches and Parks, the Laguna Blue Belt Coalition, the Laguna Canyon Conservancy, the Laguna Canyon Foundation, Laguna Greenbelt Incorporated, Laguna Ocean Foundation, Sea and Sage Audubon Society, South Laguna Civic Association, Temple Hills Homeowners Association, and then our proclamation supporting the more realistic work to maintain. We do have to do something. The Rundo did need to be removed, the invasive plants, but earth-moving equipment, massive changes to the habitat was not needed.
And that was something that they were
the Army Corps of Engineers had seen as their way of handling it.
Was their purpose just to be able to clear it out so it had a better flow to it, or what was the reasoning?
I am now stating my opinion as opposed to, they are civil engineers, and their approach is often more massive. That's just the nature of the beast.
Okay.
So we've seen that before, and I commented when I lived in Colorado, they were going to change an area. There had been a flood with the Platte, and they were going to do the same thing. It was a massive program that they wanted to do, and people saw, oh wow, this is not going to be helpful. It would actually cause the water to move more. They were going to channel the water and have cement there. And they actually, this was in the 50s, as I recall, that the flood had occurred, and then they got a writer to a bill, the senator at the time, and prevented them from doing that, thank goodness. And it was not, the problem wasn't resolved with this massive program. So that's what it was. It was an overkill project with $100 million to be spent on something that really shouldn't be spent that way.
All right, very good. Now, you folks often have a lot of different kinds of events coming up, and a lot of them, in this case, working with waste management and other agencies as well, right?
Well, we have a shredding event on Friday, April 20th. And that's from 12:30 to 3:30. You drive into the St. Nicholas parking lot. They're allowing us to use their,
nice.
because we can lay it out.
Yeah,
You never get out of the car. You drive in, no more than 5 bags, containers of material that needs to be shredded. You do not need to bring newspapers, magazines. Don't bring materials that don't require shredding.
Right,
They should be recycled.
Yeah.
This is material that has your name on it, that you feel has private information. And so if you'll leave it to that, you probably wouldn't have 5 bags. You remain in your car and of course remove any binders or the large clips that are on there. Paper clips are okay, as well as staples. And then you just, they'll come to your car, you hand it out the window, April 20th, 12:30 to 3:30.
All right. Now, also sharps waste, which of course is very important.
Right. Those who are using, giving themselves injection or someone else's, those by law cannot be put into the trash. They're dangerous. They can't go into landfills and so forth. But you can, pardon me, bring those to the city for free.
Do you need some water? We can bring some water out for you.
No, something in my throat.
Okay.
You bring the sharps in a container. It could be a detergent container bottle or something, or if there are sharps containers themselves.
Yeah, you can buy those.
Yeah, you don't bring them in loose, but you bring them to the city and we will dispose of those for you. That's a free
and
service.
that can be anytime.
Anytime.
That you, very good. Now, you are offering a real fun event. The City Library is offering Monday Fun Day at City Hall, and this is the second Monday of every month.
Correct. Okay, on that, the city, this is through the Library Association, and I've mentioned our library before, which gets quite a bit of use. The City of Laguna Woods and the Orange County Public Libraries are hosting a creative workshop for adults on the second Monday of every month from 2 to 4. The past workshops range from custom string art projects to painting canvas tote bags. The material, it's free, the supplies are provided. The next one will take place on April 9th from 2 until 4.
Okay.
So if you would call 949-360-1730 and register yourself, that would be nice so that you know.
It's a free event, but you've got to register because as with many things, it gets full up and all that kind of stuff.
Thank you
now,
so much.
Something else that is very, very important. In fact, this is something that pertains to people nowadays at almost any age, and that's cybercrime. And you're doing an event coming up next month as well.
Okay, the cybercrime is Thursday, April 19th.
Okay.
That is 9 to 10:30. That's through the Orange County Sheriff's Department, and this involves anything with your computers and internet, and then that continues to be a problem. We hear it all the time. Learn how to protect yourself from computer scams, from viruses and malware. Thursday, April 19th, 9 to 10:30 at City Hall. And once again, it would be helpful if you would call 949-639-0500 and let us know that you're intending to, so we know how many to account for. Yeah,
and it's something we all have to be very careful of. You know, one of the things that even I get almost on a daily basis is, you know, you've won an Amazon gift card or something like that. Oh yeah, all the time.
How do you receive this? As an email?
Okay. Yeah, almost on a daily basis I will get that.
Is that right?
And, you know, I just delete it because I know.
They're trying to get into your account?
I'm with Amazon, I have Amazon Prime and all that, but it has nothing to do with them.
Right.
But it's usually, it usually is Amazon, and it could be something else, but don't do that. Don't fall for that.
That's right.
If you get something like that and you're really wondering and you do have an Amazon account or whatever it might be, don't open that email. Don't click on anything. Go to your actual Amazon account. Maybe there is a reward there for you. One time there was. It was legitimate.
Right.
But I didn't even open that one.
Right.
I just went to my Amazon account and I go, oh, I do have a reward. So very good.
Are you familiar with Eventbrite that uses?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I received one recently from another council member, and I thought it was an actual invitation. But I thought, well, what is this? And anyway, it wasn't. She's never commented. Perhaps she doesn't know. I didn't notify her that that was going out. But once again,
got to be careful. Now you have a field trip coming up at the end of April. And that is to Dairy Forks, right?
That April 25th, and now is a good time if you're interested. There will be standing and walking, so you have to be able to do both of those things. It will be a field trip to, first off, to SACWA. SACWA is the South Orange County Waste Authority.
Okay.
And our waste, we want to remember what happens to our waste when things go down your pipes, your sink or your bathroom, your shower, whatever, they go over to our recycle plant. It's cleaned up there to a degree, and we reuse much of the water, but there is material that is not, can't be reused.
Yeah.
That is hauled in trucks 24 hours a day, and you may see them on Moulton going from the recycle down to SACWA, where it's treated again, and eventually that material goes to the ocean. I think people think, oh, nothing's going to the ocean. Oh, yes, it is.
Okay.
We need to be aware of what's happening with our waste. This gives you an opportunity to see what's really happening. So we'll be a tour of SACWA itself, and then on our way back, we're going to stop at Dairy Fork, and I think I mentioned to you, Dairy Fork is the project right there on Moulton.
Yes.
Okay, and that's where the wastewater, stormwater cleanup. It's using plants and ponds to clean up when we drive our cars or walk our dogs. All that material lands on the streets, and when it rains, as it did recently, that material is lifted by the water, and it floats off into the streams, and it pollutes the streams, and then it eventually it was going to the ocean. Well, this Dairy Fork project helps clean that up before it gets to the ocean.
It does it in a more natural environment.
Correct. And so you'll have a chance to see SACWA and to see Dairy Fork. And I think now, my own opinion, the situation, this has nothing to do with that field trip, but it does in a way. You are seeing the effects of homelessness, and I know you're reading about it, seeing it. We're attending a lot of meetings, and I find it's a very troubling situation because many of the people who are homeless have lost their jobs.
Right.
They have. And I think some people like to think, well, they're all just people who are on drugs, or they're all people who are mentally ill. That is not really correct. And the situation is it's a very challenging one.
Right.
Because the loss of jobs has been going on for a long time, just slowly, but it's been slowly accelerating too. So jobs for people specifically, you probably read this in the paper, in the 50-year-old range, it's tough because those jobs disappear, and what's left is not a sustainable wage.
Right, right.
And so you're seeing examples of that. You're seeing it in the encampments, but you're also not aware that people are living in cars. And you probably saw the family that died
yes,
just recently, but they're living also in RVs and so forth, and it's a result of the automation. It's taking less people to do the work that we had before.
Right.
It's a tremendous
and
challenge.
In fact, we had the United Way on yesterday.
Oh, did you? And they spoke at it. What was their response to this?
Basically, kind of what you said. It was their program, the United Way to End Homelessness. You know, they're on a campaign. They have a website and all. And that is exactly their topic that they were talking about, the demographic that sometimes people aren't aware of.
What demographic did they suggest? Because, go ahead.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, they did say exactly what you said. A lot of people are within that 50-year-old range. Of course, a lot of veterans as well. That just for whatever reasons are homeless right now. So.
Well, I from attending other meetings, SCAG and so forth, and I've taken tours of the harbor, and I see how the automation, I mean, where there was hundreds of people unloading ships, maybe 12 people just unloading huge numbers of containers. And not one person ever touches them. It's all done automatically. But it's happening also in medical fields. It's happening in the pharmacy field, in the dental field, and so forth. All this is going on. And I'm just, yeah, we have to be aware of it. It is not just building houses. When we act like, oh, we'll just build houses and we'll solve this problem. No, it's more complicated than that. And I think if you don't account for the fact of the jobs, then you're not really looking at the problem, to me.
Yeah.
That's my personal belief, and I'm speaking out on it because I feel so strongly that we're going to have to do more, and I think we're going to have to do more actually with children at younger ages, being volunteers in the school and helping to develop STEM programs.
Yeah.
I really do think that's going to be
Yeah, the STEM programs are very good.
I do believe that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, very good. Anything else you'd like to add for today?
I know it's great being on, and I see a lot of changes here, and they're quite attractive, and I'm really impressed.
Well, great to see you. Say hi to everyone on the council for me.
I certainly will.
All right, you
Thank
take care, and we'll be right back.
Okay, thank you.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From a delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials. At 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio. Or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
Welcome back. Well, today with me is Janie Durrell. She is, of course, with the United Mutual, one of the board members and the first vice president. And with her is Kurt Weeman. And Kurt is the Permits, Inspections, and Restoration Manager.
Correct.
Long title.
It is.
And a lot that goes with it, right?
Absolutely.
Well, great to have you both back on.
Good morning.
And the real topic that we're going to discuss today is the website where people can get information on alterations, on permits, and all kinds of things, and how important that is to take the right steps, right, Janie?
Exactly, exactly. It's going to be a big help for everybody, our contractors and our members.
Yeah, and let me ask you before I forget, because you mentioned the contractors, once someone has chosen a contractor, will the contractor be able to see this as well, or will this be a restricted portal just for members?
This should be available to everybody.
Okay, because that's a good way, because the owner, or the shareholder, I should say, can call their contractor up and go, hey, you know, here's a link, and these are the things that I want you to look at.
Correct. It's on the residence page, but it's accessible by everybody.
Okay, very good. I know they're going to be coming up with a portal pretty soon, but that's good to know. So you're going to show people, we're going to look at the website when it comes to alterations. And although, you know, you're on representing United, of course, some of this pertains to Third as well.
It does. The alterations section is not mutual specific.
Okay.
There are some differences in the rules between the two mutuals, but as we'll show you soon, that we've separated those on the website so people can see the differences.
Okay, so we're looking at the website here, and you can see right away manor alterations, and you can, on Read More, you can find out more about that. And this is going to give you all kinds of important information. And when you got something that you're planning, whatever it might be, take a look at this first. Even if it's months down the road, start taking a look at this and start gathering your information, right?
Exactly. And unfortunately, it's not the simplest thing to find on the website. We're working on that. The manor alterations is on the resident services page.
Okay.
So if you go to the resident services page and scroll down just a little bit, you'll find the manor alterations.
Okay. And so what we're looking at here, obviously, we have United on, so we're going to be talking about the United alteration guidelines and standards, right?
Exactly. We're very, very excited that staff has gone to all their hard work to do this and put this on our website.
Yeah, and I know one thing that both mutuals have been working on is you're taking certain things, alterations and all, and making them a little bit easier, maybe common ones that are done, and changing them to more standards. People still need their permits and go through the right steps, but some of them are no longer going to be considered alterations. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Well, to clarify that is they're all considered alterations.
Okay.
It's the variance process.
Oh, okay. All right.
The
Thank you.
variance process can be lengthy. It
Okay.
can take up to 60 days and cost an additional $350 to go through the process.
Okay.
The variances, we're trying to reduce the number of variances there are out there to help the members, to save them money and save them time when they want to do a common alteration, like you said.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. They're all alterations, right?
They still have to have a permit.
They still have to have a permit. So kind of take us through here a little bit. Now, I know this is a sheet that was produced for very quick and easy frequently asked questions and just some simple information that people can view and get themselves started, right?
Correct. This is just what we call it the guidelines. It's if you go back one page, it's a button on the alterations page to get to this. There it is. It's on the lower right side.
Okay.
This is also handed out in hard copy version at the counter, and it's just a basic guidelines. I think we've talked about it before. That kind of walks people through the overview of the process and some of the questions that we get commonly. Okay.
Now, if people are doing things that are out of the ordinary, meaning out of the spectrum of variance and something that's very, very different, obviously they need to take some extra steps as well, right?
Right. That's when it goes to the variance process. Okay. If you want to go back another page, to give an idea of what we're talking about, if you go to United Alteration Standards.
Okay.
Those are written standards. So those are written standards. Those cover all the basic alterations that you can do to your home. The simple ones, like fences and gates and exhaust fans, skylights, things like that. Those are all written in advance. Those don't need a variance. Now, if you scroll down a little bit further, you'll see, oh, you went too far. Above, you'll see standard plans with an arrow.
Okay.
So you go to the right and click the arrow. And that shows all the standard plans. As you can see, like the first one is patio and atrium covers. Okay. Those are unit specific. We're going through and relabeling those so people can pull them up and they'll know which unit they apply to. So
that's very good. Yeah.
These are common additions that people do, atrium covers, things like that, that don't need a variance because we've done them enough. We have a set architectural drawings that apply to that particular unit and that particular alteration. But if you want to do something different and unique, we're all for it. It just goes through a longer process.
Okay. And having these standard plans, this helps everyone out. You have the architectural plans ready to go. Now, does that mean they can get those plans and hand them off to their contractor? They're already approved if the contractor follows what we're on there.
They're approved in concept. Some of these standard plans are 20 years old.
Okay.
So some of the architectural details in there may not be up to code. So they'll have to still go through an architect, but the basics are there. It tells them like this. It shows them what kind of patio covers are available and how they can be installed. So those are the basics that you'll see on one of these.
All right, kind of looks like what what I did back in high school when I used to use the pen and ink, years ago.
Drafting.
Yeah, the drafting.
Right. Yes.
How important it is that with the standardized plans, must they still go to the city and get a permit, and then of course get a permit from the community as well? They still need both of those, even on these standardized plans?
Yes, on the standardized plans, yes. Some of the standards, that's the difference. There's standard plans, and then there's standards, which are just written. Some of the standards don't require a city permit.
Okay.
But the majority of the standard plans do.
Okay. So again, another important consideration, and something that when people are planning this, plan it out with enough time because you're going to need to get your contractor's going to need to get the permit and all that, and no matter what, it's going to take a little time. So it's not something you can start at the end of the week. You should plan this out in advance.
Yes, we can. If you're using a standard plan or a standard, we can usually turn it around in less than a week, even a couple of days, depending on how many we have.
Okay. And same thing with the city?
The city, yes. They're usually in the same time frame, depending on the complexity of the job. If you're doing a full remodel, emptying out the entire inside of the unit, that takes longer. The more you do, the longer it takes.
And I see you're working on plumbing plans as well coming up.
Yes, we have a lot of the old plumbing plans from when they were built. And it's very important because we do have so many plumbing issues here.
Yeah.
We're converting those to PDF format, which we can put on the website so people have a basis to build off of when they're looking to do additions.
Okay, and I understand just because of the age of this community that something might have been done 20, 30 years ago that maybe wasn't done to code or right permitted, and people go in, especially with the plumbing, and find out, well, what should be there is not there. And you have to expect that.
Yeah.
And I know personally people who've lived here and that happened to them. They were going in to do something with a contractor, and they got in, they were like, wait a minute, this isn't what it's supposed to be.
No pipes are there.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, we were not given as-built. When the contractor completed building these, they did not give us plans on exactly how they built them. We just have the original construction plans.
Okay. Is that something you want today from when a contractor comes in and redoes some of the plumbing, up to code, up to standards? You want to get that back from them?
Yes, and we do file the plumbing plans and all the plans that we get that are specific to that manor with that manor. So when you come in to get a permit, ask for previous plans, and they may be on file with us.
Okay.
So you could pull up and see what was done previously, hopefully, depends how long ago it was done.
Yeah.
And then we'll be able to provide those to you.
All right, and that's helpful for everyone. Somewhere down the road, you sell your manor, or you know, maybe you give it off to maybe a family member. It's going to be helpful to everyone in the long run to have that. And even years later, if you're there for 10 years and something else you want to change, you bring in a new contractor, you can go to get those plans back and look at them, and so your new contractor now sees what the old contractor did.
Exactly.
Yeah, very good. Anything else you'd like to add today, Janie?
I think we've covered it. He's done an incredible project with his staff, and we just can't thank him enough.
Yeah, getting everything all coordinated and together, right?
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Yeah, I know yesterday Kurt was in one of the meetings, and actually a couple days ago at the third meeting, and even though that's third, you said, well, we've got like 50 some odd different standards we're updating and making them standard, and I know the same thing is with United, so there's a lot of work ahead, and once it's all done though, it's just, the process is going to be so much easier for everyone.
That's the whole idea of what we're trying to do
Yeah.
within the committee, and also Kurt and his staff.
Yeah, and they're doing it. Thank you very much. Good to see both of you again.
You're welcome.
And we'll be right back.
Life changes, but your routine doesn't have to. With Coastal Medical Alert, you are never alone. With Coastal Medical Alert, there are no hidden fees, setup fees, and your installation and activation of your device are absolutely free.
Coastal Medical Alert is a wonderful thing to have, and I wouldn't be without it.
Coastal Medical Alert, proudly serving the Laguna Woods community. Call today for more information.
Well, our movie coming up today is a Marvel movie, Thor Ragnarok. And if you like the Marvel Universe, you will really enjoy this. This movie is just a lot of fun. It really is. One of my favorite Marvel movies. And this is all about when Thor is in prison on the other side of the universe and finds himself in a race against time to get back to Asgard, that's his home planet, and stop Ragnarok, the destruction of his homeworld and the end of his civilization that he grew up with, at the hands of an all-powerful new threat, the ruthless Hela. And this stars Chris Hemsworth, of course, as Thor. Tom Hiddleston is in this. It's got a really great cast. Some new characters are in it that I think are really enjoyable. Some of the kind of the minor characters. It's like I said, it's a fun movie and a lot of action, of course, but I really did like this one a lot. And it, of course, dovetails, as all the Marvel movies do, into the next one that will be coming up, which is, I think, coming out in about a week or so, which is, of course, Avengers Infinity War. So that will be today at 2 o'clock and at 7 o'clock. Then, on Monday, we have another superhero movie for you. Ben Affleck stars as Batman. Gal Gadot stars as Superwoman in DC's Justice League. And in this one, it's fueled by a restored faith in humanity and an inspiration by Superman's selfless act. Bruce Wayne enlists the help of his newfound ally, Diana Prince, who is Wonder Woman, to face even a greater enemy. And a lot of other superheroes are in this as well. The Flash and Aquaman and Cyborg. These are all being kind of, if you know the DC universe, you'll know who all these are, but they're kind of being introduced, some of them for the first time, into this realm, into this movie, Justice League. Another good movie, and there's the Flash right there. So tune into that one, and that will be on Monday at 2 o'clock and at 6 o'clock. A lot of good movies coming your way. We already have some set up, but the last one in March will be I, Tonya. This is the story of Tonya Harding, and it stars Allison Janney, and she won Best Supporting Actress playing the role of Tonya's mother. And this really takes the story from the time Tonya Harding was a little girl starting out skating all the way up to the U.S. Figure Skating Championships with Nancy Kerrigan way back, was almost like 20 years ago in that infamous event. This is a biography. It's also billed as a comedy and a drama. Very good movie. And again, it tells the backstory of Tonya Harding, so I think you will enjoy that. Look at April. We have Jumanji, and we've got Star Wars, The Last Jedi, Faces, Places, Molly's Game, all kinds of good movies. Another Academy Award nomination and winner, Lady Bird, is coming up. Phantom Thread, just some really good different kinds of movies coming for you. Now, as far as the weather goes, well, if you're watching this in the morning, there might be a few little sprinkles out there, but it's pretty much tapering off. And we are in for partly cloudy skies today. Saturday, we'll have partly cloudy skies. Now, overnight Saturday and Sunday, they're looking at maybe some drizzle coming in, but it's really kind of a marine layer thing. But there could be still a little bit of rain involved there. It's really not going to be much at all, but it is in the forecast. Then as we move forward, Monday and beyond, we're just going to be headed for clear, sunny weather, not real warm. As we get into midweek, next week will probably be maybe around 70 to 72 or so. But overall, some good weather coming up. I want to tell you on Monday, we're going to have the third mutual update. Also, we're going to have BreastLink, 7-Day Dental, and the Garden Club will be here to tell you all about their spring show coming up. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.